Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Why is Thanos in the background? Well, because we're here to talk about the upcoming event, Vampiric Frenzy. Yes, that's right. You're going to be getting Thanos endgame shards in a vampire-related event. Yeah, don't ask me why, but we're here to cover everything that you're going to need to know to get as many Thanos shards as possible, which hopefully is the full 100. We're going to be talking about this new month long of October and what you're going to be getting as a result of that. And we're going to be talking about things like the candy store and everything else. So if you are ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, before we go anywhere, though, I do want to kind of just do a quick recap here of the candy store. Now, I know that this video is probably going out a little bit early. There's a few things that we don't know 100%. And I'll talk about that a little bit here. So I may do an update video like maybe tomorrow, but like I have another video that's kind of more important for tomorrow morning as well, which is why I wanted to get this one out here today. And obviously, I normally do these things a day in advance as well. But there's a few pieces of information that they just haven't provided us this time around. So I just want to recap the candy store. This is going to be it's the wording is a bit off in my opinion because it says earn candy from Night Stalker Showcase Chapter 2 missions. Okay, so that's the part that are gated behind the character unlocks at 3 yellow star. You need to have the characters unlocked. But then it goes on to say the Night Stalker Showcase will use showcase energy for both the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 missions. Okay, so that's clear. We're going to need energy for both chapters. And this was very much like the Annihilators Showcase. Some people are wondering, are you going to get candy from the chapter 1 or only the chapter 2? This would suggest it's just chapter 2. But that would mean that it's pay locked, basically. That if you don't have Blade, who is coming out on Tuesday, then you won't be able to get any candy through the showcase missions. So that's why I think it's a bit unclear. You'll be able to earn candy from all of the character showcase. So is this just the chapter 2s of all of them? Like, again, I feel like that's what they're trying to tell us, but it could have used some clarity, I think. Upcoming Vampires vs. Zombies event. This does us no good right for this week because I think this is going to be later on. The Hunger and the Thirst dueling events. Dueling events. Sounds like two at the same time, but either way, I don't think it's this week. That call on vampires and zombies to bring home candy. And then an Alliance gifting event. So I think this is Alliance donations that basically once 2 p.m. hits, I suppose, your Alliance donation box are going to change on over into rewarding candy. So when you hit Tuesday, not today, but tomorrow, don't claim any of this stuff in advance just in case, because like I don't know, if you're on Tuesday, for example, let it like claim like this, right? Because you might end up getting some additional candy out of this, and maybe that's where they're all from. And when we get to the math part, like I don't know how much candy that we're expected to be getting out of these boxes. I'm assuming that's what they mean, right? Like, because what else would that mean? Alliance gifting, you're donating to the Alliance. So I think that's what this means. How much is in each box? We don't know yet. Now, what you can purchase in this store, though, is now they don't specify what awakened ability material for Blade. However, the data mines do. So I had data mined this a while back, and it actually says right here under the description for candy, spend these in the candy shop for limited time treats, including Oath Diamond Orbs. I guess part of those fragments that you can buy. Blade's ultimate awakened ability. So not the passive, which is really, really important to the utilization of Blade. More on that tomorrow when we go on the Should You Core Blade video. That's going to be on Tuesday morning. So make sure you check that out. And character shards, we don't really know which shards or who's going to be in there. But, there's more description of what you can get in here. It does say that up here, character shards. It's not very clear, though, exactly. There is some red gear as well. So we'll take a look at this. There might be a video update on, like, specifically just the store to see what's worth buying and what's not. Because you're going to need every single week, but specifically this week as well, you are going to have to spend candy in order to get points for this event. So I just wanted to talk about that. Also, the October meta event, which we went over briefly in the blog post, but you are going to be getting 50 Omega Sentinel shards. However, it seems to be about like 10 shards per week because there's like 10 here at 49,000 points, but then not another 10 to like down here at 213. So it honestly feels like you're probably getting about 10 shards per week. That's what it seems like because there's 5 weeks worth of events all the way down here to 10 more Omega Sentinel at 920k. So it seems like roughly we're going to be getting about 200,000 points per week. So that's what you can kind of expect as far as shards for Omega Sentinel. And then what you're actually getting out of the rewards for this event itself is Thanos Endgame shards. Now you can see this on the right hand side here, all the way up to down here, which is 121,000. Now I think that we will be able to get there free to play. Honestly, it might not. It doesn't seem like that because it's milestone 15, which is kind of high usually in some events. But I do believe that this will be able to got. That was bad English. You'll be able to get there, and definitely the 70 shards here for sure. But I think this extra 31 are possible as well. We'll take a look at that in the math as well. And then the web milestone, of course, requires you to spend candy. Now, this is going to be the, I guess, the deciding factor here on whether or not the full 100 Thanos shards are available. Because you're going to need to get through some of these other milestones down here, which require a lot of candy spending. Are we getting that much candy in 6 days? I guess that's the real question here. I'm going under the assumption that we will. However, there has been some tough web milestones lately, so it's maybe not 100% clear if we're going to be clearing this entire web milestone or not, because there are milestone points here that are up for grabs. They're going to kind of make or break whether or not you get the 100 Thanos shards. So if it's warranted, basically, if this is really bad, I will do an updated video. But if it's as I expect and kind of hope it will be, then I'll kind of leave it as is. So let's go on over to the math and kind of get started on that now that we've kind of got things out of the way. So Vampiric Frenzy is a 6-day event that requires showcase energy and alliance donations. It's pretty basic for the most part, unless you want to like spend money and buy this ghoulish gold orb, which gives you a gold costume. Basically, I don't know how much things cost. Maybe like $15, $20. Total milestone points required is 300,000. The event item milestone points, however, is 78,000. That's milestone 13. But the 100 Thanos endgame shards are at 121,000, which is milestone 15. We don't know what the free claims are, of course, and if you are looking for this table will normally get posted in my Discord server once the event goes live. That way I can kind of make sure that I have all the numbers correct. Also, I can add in the free claims so we get the final value as well. The total web milestone points available from this is 33,500. This requires 400,000 candy to spend. That's really important to understand because you're going to need to spend this every single week. Actually, not just this week, but you're going to need to spend it every week because they're repeating this web milestone for 5 weeks. My question is, are they making this so maybe every week you're not getting 400,000 candy and maybe you would need to save some of this some week to finish it the next week? I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what the grand plan is. Are we going to get 400,000 per week to be able to do this? We'll find out when the event goes live, unless there's some other way that they would tell us how much we're getting. I suppose because we're getting it from the Alliance donation box, once we figure everything out this week, 100%, we'll be able to know exactly what it's going to be for the next 4 weeks because it's going to be the same, at least as far as the Alliance donation goes. And in the showcase as well, we'll be able to see how much we can farm per hit with the energy as well for that. But let's talk about the points. So you get 10 points per Night Stalker energy spent. This is the showcase energy. This refreshes at a normal rate, but you don't get the free time refreshes. So you don't get like the 80, the 3 different times a day that you get that. It doesn't work for that. Also, when you core for the energy, you get 100, not 120, like you do for all the other energy pieces. Now, you need to earn candy up to 50,000. That's, I'm sure, not a problem, right? Because the web milestone requires 400,000. So I suspect farming 50,000 should be not a problem. We'll find out, right? This does make me a little bit concerned, though, because 50,000 is quite a significant gap from 400,000. But, we'll see. Maybe there might be a follow-up video about how this is trash. The ghoulish gold orbs, you could buy 2 of them. But again, it's orange, which means I'm not assuming that you're going to do this. These are, when I do it this way, this usually means that it's kind of a spender's thing. But we are going to be including the 50,000 points from the candy. So your total showcase energy is going to be 288. That's just your generic time refreshing. That's 5 minutes per energy, over the course of 24 hours, right? And then you get an additional 400 if you core 4 times. So I'm assuming that you're going to be spending 200 cores per day doing this event. You get 100 energy per 50 cores. That's a subtotal of 688. Times it by 10, the points above. That gives you almost 7,000 points per day. Multiply that by 6 days, you get 41,280. So if you were to add these things up together, right, that's like 91,000. So that's not even including the web milestone. Now, whether or not we get candy from Showcase Chapter 1, which will be basically pretty much, I mean, unless you unlock Blade on day 1 and you can farm Chapter 2, we're probably going to have to take a look at that in a separate video because, not everyone is going to is going to buy Blade or Core Blade on day 1, which might benefit this event. So, we might need to follow a video on this because there's a few things we don't know. And I basically set up my table as such to fill in the blanks when I post this on my Discord server because there's honestly there's just some things we don't know. These are the Alliance donation boxes, box 1 through 5. There's 5 boxes as I kind of mentioned over here. But in order to get to this final box over here, so to get box number 4, you just need all 24 members of your alliance to donate gold. That's fine. But to get this last box, you need 12 people to donate 50 cores or 6 people to donate 100 cores. You get more XP. You get like triple the amount of Alliance XP over here. So that's going to be important. And I have a feeling that if that's where we're getting the most of our candy, that 5th box is also going to be pretty important to clear for the candy. Now, we don't know how much that's going to be, and that's something that I'm going to have to add in later on. But nonetheless, you're probably going to be wanting to make sure that you get the 4th box for sure, right? Because that's going to be your everyone is adding in gold, or some people donate 50 cores to try and make up for either not having a full active alliance or whatever it happens to be. Right. And so once we know the candy value for that, I would keep an eye out on my Discord server when I do post this on Tuesday afternoon. So I know 100% unless it pops in early and we can figure that out. But I'm not going to be touching my alliance donation box until the event goes live because I want to see, like when that gets added. And I might even wait till 5 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe I'll have someone else check it just in case it doesn't flip over because the alliance donations flip at around at 5 o'clock, actually 5 p.m. Pacific time, not 2 p.m. So yeah, I'll have to add this in later on. However, if we assume that all the web milestone points can be got, then there's 2 different things I have here. Reasonable points at 200 cores daily and 400 cores daily. So this is with all the web milestone points and the stuff above. And that gets you to milestone 15. And so what's milestone 15? Well, if you remember, it is actually exactly what you need for, let's just go back to full screen. Sorry, guys. As the Thanos endgame shards over here. So you can see that milestone 15 is 121,000. That is the last piece of Thanos endgame shards over here, which will be the full 100. Now, 98,000 for milestone 14, however, is the 70 Thanos endgame shards. So that's not bad because if you were to subtract basically the 25,000 here from the web milestone, it'll honestly be pretty close to that milestone 14. So even if the candies are pretty trash, like you should at the very least get 70 Thanos endgame shards, but I still think that people are going to get milestone 15 for the 100 Thanos endgame shards unless the candy that you get per week is just god-awful trash, or by not having Blade unlocked for some reason just means that you're not going to get it. And we'll have to evaluate that when the event goes live or when we're able to figure that out. I guess maybe once it's in game, the showcase, so we can kind of see how much that's worth as well. And then 400 cores daily is an extra 12,000 points. I don't think it's really worth it because it's not going to get you to milestone 16. And what's included in milestone 16 is it's okay. 200,000 purple ions that you can see here and like 5 purple orbs. It's okay. But I don't think you're going to get there unless you're like buying the ghoulish ghoul orb, to make up the difference and the points that you're missing. So I would probably just stick with the 200 cores daily, honestly. So I am assuming that the web milestone will be clearable. If it's not, then you might need to do 400 cores daily in the showcase energy to make up for the missing milestone 9 and 10 on the web. That is if you want the full 100 Thanos endgame shards. So if that's worth it to you, basically, is an extra 200 cores. That'd be that's 1,200 cores. An extra 200 cores over 6 days would be going from 1,200 cores over the week, over the 6 days, to 2,400 cores. So if you feel that those 30 shards are worth 1,200 cores, then, that's something that you might want to consider if the web milestone is trash. Right now, though, I do not know how much daily candy we will be getting, but it seems that it comes primarily from Alliance donation boxes and Showcase Chapter 2 farming. Maybe 1, I don't know. We'll have to see once it's available in-game. Probably not until the event goes live on Tuesday when it starts populating with the candy on the nodes. So do keep that in mind. Really, at the end of the day, make sure you have cores available for this event because if you want to do well, if you want to pick up those Thanos endgame shards, you're going to need your cores in order to actually collect a lot of the stuff for this. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. I hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below what you're going to do and what you think about this event. Finally, we are getting Thanos endgame shards. Whether or not we get 70 or 100, I guess we'll have to see when we know a little bit more. So that's going to be the end of this one, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.